So this is our presentation on Swell, a high-end water bottle company, and this is our case study on their mass market decision.
Swell is a high-end water bottle company started by Sarah Krause, who graduated Harvard Business School. And she was inspired to make this water bottle because of the current problem with plastic water bottles now not being recycled properly or just being thrown out in general and becoming littered and trash and just piling up everywhere. So she carried around her own reusable water bottle, but the thing is, it wasn't ideal in terms of functionality, as the cold drinks would warm up quickly and the hot drinks wouldn't stay hot. And it also sweated with condensation. It just wasn't very appealing in terms of looks. So over the last 5 years, the company has grown in mammoth proportions and have partnered with huge corporations such as Starbucks, Athleta, The Container, and Nordstrom, just to name a few. It's been featured on Jimmy Kimmel and received product endorsements from many celebrities like even Tom Hanks or Kaylee Cuoco. It's also received positive PR from Vogue, People Magazine, and BuzzFeed. Swell is also committed to giving back in different ways as well. In partnership with American Forest, they planted a tree for every wood collection bottle they sold, and at the point when asked how many they had planted, they'd planted 500,000 trees. Then they were approached by Target to create a lower quality water bottle called Sip by Swell, and this new product would be sold in 1,800 Target stores in the United States. The bottle shape would be different from the Sip bottle and would be available in one 15-ounce size for $25 compared to the main model of Swell being the 17-ounce bottle sold for $35 with an option that's smaller for $25 and a bigger option for $45. For the first 6 months, this Sip bottle would be sold exclusively through Target and have the opportunity to expand after those 6 months. The problem statement is, as a luxury product, should Swell open up to the mass market and launch the new lower price line of Sip water bottles?
So when it comes to the SWOT analysis, let's start with strengths. For the strength, the first one we identify is brand loyalty. We can see if you look at places like Amazon, they're always having great reviews, and people that buy this product love this product and will buy it again if they want a new bottle. Then there's the product quality. They pride themselves on using quality material. If you look at their competitors, their bottles are usually made of better or at least as good materials as their competitors, giving them an advantage over the competition. They also have the chance to have great partnership with companies like Starbucks and people like celebrities that they combine together to create a sense of community for people that have those bottles. They also have the brand image working in their favor. They have a eco-friendly and good to workers bottle because of the material it's made, as we mentioned earlier, being made of actual metal and not just basic plastic, and by them taking care of their eco style and ways of doing things. Then after that, there's the weaknesses. If you look at their first weakness, there's organizational ability and experience with larger retailers. They've never been into big retailers. That's never where they've marketed their product. So that's a weakness though, because a lot of people that buy water bottles don't go in like smaller retail to buy it unless they're looking for a specific model or type. Usually they'll just go into a big retail store like a Walmart or a Costco and just buy the one they like the most that they see. The second one that we identify is easy to copy. They have a unique but very simple style that does not make it hard for companies to just copy it. The materials, for example, are not extremely hard to find. They don't do anything special, which means any other company could copy it, and it's not like you can claim they're copying really their style. The last one we saw as a weakness was low cash on hand. They're a company that does not have a lot of cash on hand to be able to make a quick, expensive defense if they need to, or just a quick expense in general. When it comes to the opportunities, we identified two. The first one was to expand their brand partnership with Starbucks. By doing that, they were able to target a market that is very good for them with a well-known like brand. People that shop at Starbucks are loyal to Starbucks. And by having that partnership with Starbucks, not only do you get the chance to convince a clientele of your quality of product, but you get to associate with a really loved product and community, allowing them to generate a lot of sales. Plus, by Starbucks using your bottles to put their logo on to sell, that's a lot of exposure in a lot of their chains, which there's a lot of Starbucks all around America. The second one was they have the new SIP product in 1,800 Target stores. That would be a great opportunity also, because if you think about it, Target has 1,800 stores. That's a lot of stores. And being able to be in those stores would attract a lot of clientele, especially when we mentioned that one of their weakness was not in big stores. And this would eliminate that weakness. But when it comes to threat, there was three main threats. The first one, as mentioned, is copycats. There's going to be copycats, and if your product is simple and popular and well done, people are trying to start copy it. They're going to obviously put their spin on it because they don't want to get flat out copy it, but that could be a problem. The second one is many competitors. There's a lot of water bottle industries from high end to low end. We can think of Hydro Flask, and Gatorade does their water bottles, and they're really popular with athletes. So there's so many competitors that could be a problem if you don't distinguish yourself, or if you're not always innovating or offering better prices or finding that new thing that will allow you to get that extra step above your competitors. And the last one is brand defamation.
At this point, Swell is facing two options, either to grow the SIP line or to focus on the luxury goods market. Moving forward with option one would mean that the company would have access to a larger market, more sales channels such as big box stores or sporting goods stores, a higher revenue potential, and differentiation of product offering and portfolio. However, the company doesn't have the managerial experience to deal with large retailers. Launching the product would require some financing, and it might also cause brand cannibalization as well as defamation. Focusing on the luxury goods market would be consistent with the brand's message, would carry lower risks, and would be easier to manage. But more importantly, it's a great opportunity to create future deals with premium brands such as Starbucks. On the other hand, option 2 would allow for copycats and competitors to control the low-end market. It would provide less market reach, and the brand might stagnate over time.
In order to facilitate the decision-making process, we came up with the following decision matrix. Our decision criteria are the following: growth potential each option could yield, the degree of cannibalization and defamation each option would generate, their potential market access, managerial and financial achievability based on the company's current resources, and overall competitiveness in the market as of today. We attributed higher scores for option 1 for growth potential, market access, and competitiveness because we believe that launching the SIP line would be beneficial not only to the company in terms of potential revenue and ease of market entry, but would also allow to gain more market shares, which would mean that the company as a whole will have more control over the market and its competitors in the mid to long run. Higher scores were attributed to option 2 for cannibalization, as well as managerial and financial achievability, due to the fact that the product is already marketed, so cannibalization is less likely to happen, and the company already has the resources at hand to pursue this route.
So our decision was to launch a new SIP product line, and there's two major reasons we decided to go down this route. One being market reach. So we can get into more of the big box stores, as well as enter maybe sports brands or other larger brands that may not be of the highest quality, but there's lots and lots of quantity, and we can get into more shelves and have more people see our product. As well, next, revenue potential is too vast to pass up. There is too much revenue to be made from expanding in making this new product line, and there's not really a good enough reason to not create this product line. As well, if we create a unique product that is a completely different style than the current high-end models, we will be able to differentiate our lower quality product from our higher quality product. So we talked about defamation before. This should, in the minds of consumers, be able to segregate the two different parts of our company and not cause brand confusion and just overall lower our brand image. So next we're going to talk about the short-term implementation plan for the new SIP product launch. So first we need to finalize the agreement with Target. We need to make sure they don't bully us into providing a price that we're uncomfortable with, and also make sure that their branding is consistent with our own. Next, we also need to retain additional funding for expansion, and this might take a while. We are going to need more money for promotion and for marketing, as well as we're going to have even more employees and be even need to find a second factory that can produce our product and in high quantities. Then we need to begin the SIP bottle design, and as I mentioned before, we need to make sure we differentiate the SIP bottle design from the current Swell bottle design, which is more high-end, so we don't cause brand confusion. This will take a while as well, and we want to make sure that this is done before we begin the process of creating our bottle. Next, we need to find a second socially responsible factory, and this will be happening kind of at the same time as when we're designing the bottle. This will take a few months to make sure that we're actually finding a factory that's socially responsible, good to their employees, and is environmentally conscious. Next, we also have to hire new experienced employees. So we need employees that actually understand big box retailers like Target, understand what Target expects from us, and understand what we need to do to make sure that Target doesn't get annoyed with us as well. Next, we have to create promotional materials, and this will take as well a few months. But what we need to ensure with the promotional materials is that we differentiate the product in the minds of the consumers compared to our Swell products, but also make it seem like the product we're making, even though it's lower quality, our values of our company are still being put into this product. So push the idea of environmentalism and being a socially conscious company, and making that more accessible to people. And that will make people really like this product because it's more affordable, but it's also environmentally friendly and socially consciously made. Then we have to begin selling with Target, and this might take a while to actually get the bottles out to all the stores, but then after that, the product launch will be complete, and our partnership with Target will begin. So lastly is the long-term implementation plan. So going forward, what should Swell do? And first, they should revise how Swell's sales are being affected. So the more high-end part of their brand, so their Swell water bottles, they need to see how they've been affected by the SIP water bottles. If all is well and the Target partnership is going as planned, they should expand into more retail stores. So maybe Walmart, or Sport Chek, or even Kroger's, which is a grocery store, which they could find more potential revenue success. And then lastly, they need to continue to ensure that they differentiate between their two different types of products, so their Swell products and their SIP products. So make sure that they seem like environmentally and socially conscious products, but at the same time, there is a difference as far as quality goes between them. So this will make sure that the Swell products is still sold at a high capacity and there's not too much brand cannibalization. And of course, thank you very much for listening to our presentation.